What's up, MadMaxers? So we have not done any videos on the Juggernaut in quite a while, so I'm going to give you a quick recap of what we've done so far since we come back from SEMA. So, we got the bumper built so far, and it looks pretty freaking badass. And she's a bit thick. So basically we did the same thing we did on the front bumper as we did on the rear. We took tubing all the way from the chassis and went straight to the back, giving it some crazy reinforcement. And you see that's where the new hitch is going to sit, and we're going to add a bunch of trusses and gussets right there to that hitch so it can also be beefy and still use the truck for towing. And all this is all built together in seams everywhere. And this we decided to go with like a triangle shape instead of doing the square shape. It's just easier, and I think it looks better in the back and give it a little different flow. And there's the factory hitch. This is where actually the factory bumper sat, so you can see how much bigger this bumper is. The factory bumper sat about like right here, and we just extended all the way out. Right now Steve is building a new tailgate because we just decided that the factory tailgate, that's actually freaking sick. Look at that. So this right here is the aftermarket tailgate that we're fabricating right now. These are the factory lock mechanisms, still installed to the factory handle, and we're still going to use the camera and all that with the lights. And we're still using the mounting point, where the locking pin basically, but our own little hinges. You see that? That's with these bullet hinges, and that's smoother than the factory freaking tailgate, ain't it? I'll tell you what, these bullet hinges are freaking sick. Like, we use them on everything, and they hold like 500, 600 pounds a piece, and they're like $1 a piece. I'll buy a pack of 20 of them for like 25 bucks.
This is going to come out, this piece here, and put another piece of tubing up there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to put a bolt-up plate on the back side, just like on the original tailgate, so that if something happens to these and we need to replace them, we can just take that off and get some new ones in there.
Oh, whoops. I just like how this is just super beefy and it still opens up like factory, so catch it for me. So right here, you see this is the factory button right here. Watch that. And it just rests. And we made it to where it rests right here on the bumper. That was purposeful, so that way it can take some of the weight too. We might make a stop. Actually, screw it, this is MadMax stuff. We don't need no stop. Let it come down rigid and rough. But man, this is sick. So, suspension wise, we have right here, if you can see it, these are the mounting points for the bags, and we kept the leaf springs. So that way, the leaf springs will handle the majority of the weight. Same thing on the front. They're going to act as helper bags. So the coil is going to take the majority of the weight, and then the bags will lift it up the rest of the way. So the issue we ran into, the bags collapsed, the coils first collapsed, and then we put bags instead of the coils, and now we're putting coils and bags, and it'll hold the weight, because apparently this thing's heavy as hell. I think in the front just weighs like 15,000 pounds on its own, and in the rear we still got like all this other stuff to add to it, so it's going to be in the same ballpark.
Got it, just back.
That's so dope.
It's strong too. We're going to be even stronger.
So basically we're going to do an outline tubing just like the rest of the truck. You see how we outline tubed all that, and then we're going to tube it and then add plate between it. Probably use either 3/16 or quarter, and it'll make it super beefy, and it's like going to be way bigger than the factory tailgate. Because the factory tailgate, I was going to cut it open and start like adding to it, and I was like, man, there's just no reinforcement in the factory tailgate. It's actually still sitting over here. The factory tailgate it's just hollow. Like, look at that. Yeah, it's just completely hollow. I was like, there's no reason to tear up that tailgate Let me just make one from scratch to match the rest of the truck. Now we just need some Mad Max type tail lights. I don't know what we're gonna do for tail lights. I might just use the factories and make a type of bezel for them. We have quite a bit done, and we still got quite a bit to go. The hood will be next after he finishes the tailgate, which he's moving. He's moving pretty quick on the freaking tailgate. So the hood, the hood's gonna be fun to make. I just know for a fact the hood's gonna be badass to make. I already have an idea for it. I'm gonna get some of that curvature off and just make it more square. And this hood is the only thing on this truck that's aluminum, so we're gonna make it steel, obviously. And we're gonna make something to cap this intake off, some type of box so it can breathe and water don't get in it. So that's an update on the Juggernaut. We still got a ways to go, but we're making some movement, so that's good. Why did the tape measure have a 2-inch mark on it? What were you measuring earlier?
This tailgate
The little safety wire thing is going to need to be longer.
Yeah, since this one lets down further, or we can just move the access point down.
I mean, it don't look that terrible just to thread that out.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, just take that factory bolt out, put a regular bolt in there, and then just weld a nut in there. Yeah. Man, the shape even looks, that just screams factory application if it was actually made with quality steel.
Oh, yeah.
And there's our fifth wheel. We're actually going to tow with it, so don't forget we're actually going to use this truck. Oh, let me show you all the new tube chassis. So originally we were going to use the Jeep as like a donor for all the powertrain and move everything over to the new chassis we got back behind me, but then we decided that we're just going to go get all new everything. Axles, ram, motor, transmission, everything. Coilovers, A to Z. So that way we can just add it to this and then put the body on it and put it on there. Originally we were going to move everything from the Jeep over, but this time, this build we're going to do 58s, some crazy size coilovers, LSX. I want to do a 427. I don't want to do NA. I want to do some massive supercharger, but I don't know. We'll start that next year. We just have to finish the Juggernaut. Juggernaut's the most important thing to get done. We've been lacking on it because we've been working on the Corvette, getting ready for SEMA, because we realized that the timeline we were on wasn't going to work to get the Juggernaut to SEMA. So we're like, well, we'll send the Corvette instead, and we'll just do a bunch of crazy shit to it. And yeah, and we did, and we made some crazy content out there. We've been catching stuff on fire. SEMA let us do whatever the hell we wanted to, which was pretty cool. So Juggernaut's got to get done, and we will not touch another project until the Juggernaut gets done, because we've been lacking on it so much. Then after that, then we'll do the Jeep. Well, not the Jeep. No. The tube chassis with the 1950 Pontiac Silver Streak body with the LSX and all that fancy stuff. So stay tuned, subscribe, turn notifications on. Appreciate you guys.